Hello everybody, my name is Roy Nemmer of Mundo Albiceleste.com and welcome to another video. And this time around, we are going to talk about the Argentine players in the Premier League. This upcoming season, we are going to have between 10 and 12 Argentine players in England in the Premier League. And the reason why 10 to 12 is, well, we don't know what's going to happen with Gio Lo Celso at Tottenham, and we do not know what is going to happen with Emiliano Martinez. Is he going to remain at Ajax, although that looks unlikely, or is he going to join Arsenal or Manchester United? So we are going to talk about the goalkeepers and the defenders in this video in the Premier League, as well as what are their chances of making the World Cup for Argentina. You're going to see throughout this series, we're going to do 3 videos. The first one on goalkeepers and defenders, the second one on midfielders, and the third one on the forwards. It's going to vary. We're going to have players that are pretty much secured of a spot at the World Cup, some that are still fighting for a place at the World Cup, and some that have no chance of making the World Cup. So without further ado, enough of this. Let's get into it. Let's look at the defenders and goalkeepers, the Argentines in the Premier League. And we have 5 of them. So we have 3 goalkeepers and 2 defenders. We have Emiliano Martinez, Paulo Gazzaniga, Willy Caballero, Cristian Romero, and Federico Fernandez. And let's kick things off with the man himself, Emiliano Martinez, 29 years old. If we look at his record with the national team, he has played 16 matches, kept 11 clean sheets, and conceded just 5 goals. Some great numbers there by the Argentine number 1. And with Aston Villa in the Premier League last season, 36 matches, 11 clean sheets, 48 goals allowed. Not a terrible return for Martinez. And with the Argentina national team, he has won the Copa America as well as the Finalissima. And obviously, his chances of making the World Cup are pretty high, if I do say so myself. You know, he's pretty much secured of a spot for the World Cup. The number 1 goalkeeper for Argentina, no doubt about it. He will be there, and that's Emiliano Martinez. Now, we're going from Emiliano Martinez to someone else, someone who was not in the Premier League last season, but in the Championship and won the Championship, and that is none other than Paulo Gazzaniga, 30 years old. With the national team, he's played 1 match and kept 1 clean sheet, and that was actually with Lina Scaloni as coach, and this came in 2018 in a 2-0 win against Mexico. So he did get his debut there in the win. With Fulham in the Championship last season, he played 13 matches, kept 3 clean sheets, and allowed 17 goals. And as I mentioned earlier, he did win the Championship with Fulham, and his last match for Argentina, his only match for Argentina, came in 2018. And in all likelihood, the chances of him making the World Cup pretty much slim to none. Has not been called up in over 4 years now, or at least close to 4 years, and has not really featured at all after the match against Mexico for Argentina. So the chances of him making the World Cup, not great, although hopefully he plays very well with Fulham and they're able to stay on top and keep that momentum going for them. Like I said, he won the Championship, so fingers crossed for him. Hopefully he has a good season. Now, the third goalkeeper, and ironically enough, the only one of the 3 that has played in a World Cup for Argentina, is Willy Caballero, and now 40 years old, and with the national team, not a great track record. He's played 5 matches, kept 2 clean sheets, and 9 goals allowed. And Caballero, you know, his prime was probably around 2012 up until 2014, especially that run with Malaga. Played very well, and probably should have even been selected for the World Cup in Brazil by coach Alejandro Sabella. But Sabella, he knew better. He knew better. Nothing against Caballero, but he knew better than anyone because he selected Sergio Romero. He stuck with Sergio Romero, and we all know what he was able to do at the World Cup. His heroics against the Netherlands and the saves he pulled off against Iran and everything else. So kudos to him. But as for Caballero, his time with the national team came, you know, arguably 4 to 6 years too late. By the time he was selected in 2018 or for 2018, he was past his prime. He was still decent, but past his prime. And to be fair, the only reason he started the World Cup in 2018 was because Sergio Romero was injured, and then he was fit enough to play the World Cup, but he was controversially left out, and then Caballero came in. So that was a mess, and that was a mess of a World Cup, not only for Caballero, but for the team itself, for the staff, to the players. So not a great experience for him. And already 40 years old, last season with Southampton in the Premier League, played 2 matches, 0 clean sheets, and 5 goals allowed. And historically, with the national team, he did win the Under-20 World Cup in 2001 with Argentina, so 21 years ago now, as well as winning gold, Olympic gold, with the national team in 2004 in Athens. And I mean, similar to Gazzaniga, Caballero, don't expect him at the World Cup. Has not been selected since 2018, since that match against Croatia, where he did not play very well. So Caballero, very, very unlikely to make the World Cup. Now, someone unlikely to make the World Cup to someone whose World Cup spot, I think it's fair to say, is pretty secured. Cristian Romero, 24 years old, just a standout player for Argentina since making his debut. Played 11 matches, helped keep 9 clean sheets, and even managed to score 1 goal. We know about his trajectory with the national team. Made his debut in the qualifiers prior to the Copa America. Ended up starting at the Copa America, played very well, got injured, played the final on painkillers, started the final, won, and I mean, we know the rest. It's Cuti Romero, just an incredible talent. And he, alongside Lisandro Martinez, in my opinion, the best Argentine defenders, or the best defenders that Argentina has produced in a long time. His debut season with Tottenham Hotspur, he played 22 matches in the Premier League, helped keep 7 clean sheets, and also scored 1 goal. And similar to Emiliano Martinez, he won the Copa America, he won the Finalissima, and expect him to be in Qatar for the World Cup with the national team. Now, someone who has World Cup experience, has even made the World Cup final with Argentina, Federico Fernandez of Newcastle United, 33 years old, with the national team. He's played 32 matches, kept 13 clean sheets, or helped keep 13 clean sheets, and scored 1 goal in the process. And funny enough, the 1 goal that he did score, I was at that match. I was at the stadium, and that was Argentina's 4-3 win against Brazil in 2012, where Lionel Messi scored a hat-trick. So that's just a fun little anecdote. So Federico Fernandez, part of that 2014 World Cup team that made the final in Brazil. He did not play in the final. Martin de Michelis ended up playing that alongside Ezequiel Garay. Fernandez has not been called up for the national team since 2014. And I mean, similar to Gazzaniga, similar to Caballero, don't hold your breath. Do not expect him to play at the World Cup. He hasn't been selected in I was going to say 4 years, but in about 8 years now. Since 2014. And with Newcastle United last season in the Premier League, he played 7 matches, helped keep 1 clean sheet, and 0 goals for him. But as a defender, that can be forgiven. It's not as if he is a striker. And his career, I mean, he's won a Copa Libertadores with Estudiantes a couple of years ago, and as I mentioned earlier, was part of the Argentina national team, which made the World Cup final in Brazil. So that's Federico Fernandez. Those were our goalkeepers and defenders. Let me know, is there anyone here? I mean, would you like to see Gazzaniga make the World Cup somehow, maybe as a 3rd choice or potentially 4th choice goalkeeper if Scaloni does end up going with 4? Would you like to see Federico Fernandez included somehow? Although I think in all likelihood, I don't think he's going to get too many shouts to be included in the team. Now, as I mentioned earlier, this is the first of 3 videos. The second video will be about the midfielders, and we have some good midfielders playing in the Premier League. I'm not going to give them all away, but I mean, the likes of Emiliano Buendia, but we'll put Emiliano Buendia more with the forwards. But Gio Lo Celso is the big one. What's going to happen with them? Villarreal cannot seem to afford him. He doesn't appear to be in the coach's plans at Tottenham Hotspur. What's going to happen with him? Still, we're going to talk about him. We're going to talk about Manuel Lanzini and some of the other ones as well. If you like what you saw, hit that like button. And if you haven't already, hit that subscribe button and hit that notifications button to never miss a thing and to be the first person notified as soon as a new video drops. Once more, my name is Roy Nemmer of MundoAlbiceleste.com, and thank you for watching.